Business owners and people managers, I am sharing with you in this video 7 of my top tips for managing your people, things you really need to know in HR. I'm following the same kind of lines and topics as my HR for non-HR managers course, which is a full 2-day course when I deliver it in person. So yeah, I've reduced it right down just to give you some really top tips. If you want to find out more about that course, the link is in the description below. But let's go with the tips. Quick introduction to me, I'm Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we help business owners and small businesses with all things HR, people management and leadership. And one of the things I do is face-to-face training, so that's where I've based this video on today. But right now I'm going to dive straight into the tips. So starting off with recruitment, don't leave your recruitment advertising to the moment you've got a vacancy. It's too late. It's hard. It's really hard to stand out in the crowd, and you need a pipeline. You need to make sure that you're talking to the right people, that you're building up a pipeline of people that might one day want to come and work for you. Employment contracts. Get these in writing and make sure they actually reflect your business. Don't just download some random template off the internet or the one that you used for your last job. You need something that reflects your business now and what you need in terms of protecting your business right now. When it comes to the performance of your teams, it all hangs off setting your expectations. If you're not clear on your expectations, how can you expect them to know what you're expecting? How can you expect them to be clear about it? How can you measure it? How do you know whether they're achieving? It all hangs off being really clear about your expectations and communicating it. The disciplinary procedure. Now, the disciplinary procedure is your friend. Rules are not made to be broken. Don't even bother putting the rule in place in the first place. If you need a rule, you need it there, and you need to be able to have a consequence if it's broken, and that is a disciplinary procedure. We find actually most of the time you don't need to use it, but when you know it's there, when you know that tool is there, it makes it far easier to communicate with people in the first place, set your expectations and be really clear about it. So know the disciplinary procedure is there, understand it, understand how you can use it, even if you don't know all the ins and outs, and you can take advice when you need to know that bit, but just know it's there and know that you can use that to either issue disciplinary warnings or to dismiss people, and make it your friend. When it comes to absence, make sure you speak to people. Now, this is my number 1 top tip. If you're going to do nothing else, do this one. It will help you manage absence, it will help you reduce absence, and it will make your staff feel valued, and that is absolutely crucial. Make sure you talk to people when they're off sick. Understand why they're off sick, understand what their symptoms are, whether it's likely to occur again, if there's anything that you can do in the workplace to support them, to avoid it happening again. You want to get people to work as often as possible. We can't eradicate sickness absence, we are all human, but when you speak to people and you understand and you ask them why, then that is your best tool for reducing absence, simply speaking to people. Grievances. Understand that grievances don't have to be in writing. That's the first one. Often it's thought that it has to be formally labelled a grievance, and yes, that's ideal, and you should have a procedure that tells people to do that, but they don't technically have to be in writing, they don't have to be labelled a grievance, so just recognise that. And don't take it as a personal attack. So there's kind of 2 tips on this one. Don't take it as a personal attack. Often that's what business owners do, and I can see that. This is your baby, it's your business, and you've got this complaint coming in from a member of staff, and that feels like a personal attack. Don't take it like a personal attack. Look at it, look at the evidence, look to see if there's anything the business can learn from this, because if you want to attract and retain the best people, if there's something going on that's upsetting them, you need to learn from that. You need to know about it. You need to fix it. That's not always going to be the case, and sometimes you've just got the wrong person in the wrong job, or the wrong person in the wrong culture, whatever it is that is just going wrong. But that information in that grievance is there for you to learn from and to be able to decide what actions you need to take for the best benefit of your business, as well as resolving it for the individual. I have more detailed videos on all of these topics on my channel, and more are coming every week. I've put some particularly useful ones in the description below so you can take a look. And then my final one is discrimination. At an absolute minimum, you need to know what the protected characteristics are under the Equality Act 2010. I've put them on screen now. There's a list of them there so you can see them, but do be aware that sometimes it's not entirely obvious what would come under one of these characteristics. Let's take disability, for example. Often we say disability, the first thing that comes into mind is those very obvious disabilities being in a wheelchair, being blind, being deaf, those sorts of things that we generally know about. The reality is disability is such a wider definition than this. It covers everything that is long-term, substantial impact on everyday life. And you may find that somebody is covered as a disability under the Equality Act that wouldn't register as disabled, for example. So be really aware of what these characteristics actually mean. And make sure as a bare minimum that you're not discriminating against people. These are your most expensive tribunal claims. You want to avoid these. Actually, I'd be saying go further and look at inclusion and diversity and the benefits of that to business. But that's for another video. Right now, my top tip is absolutely bare minimum. Make sure you're aware of the protected characteristics and that you're not discriminating in anything that you do, whether that is directly or indirectly. So there we go. That is my 7 tips, quick fire. It does come out of a full HR for non-HR manager course that I do deliver. So if you want to know more, if you want to dig deeper into these subjects, if you want to find how you can be a better people manager, make sure that you're legally compliant, then take a look at the description below. There's links to more details about my course. And of course, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. If you found this video useful, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single one.